Welcome one and all to my little corner of the internet. Today, I bring to you, or well, Neopol brings to us, Dungeon Fighter Online. DFO is an arcade-style beat-em-up with fighting game mechanics and an MMORPG twist, which means that it has an economy and people that you absolutely need to complete dungeons with. It's ridiculous. Currently, the roster has the following: 14 characters with 4 classes each, with Mel Mage having 5, and 2 characters that kind of do their own thing, for a total of 59 different ways to play the game, even though some of them are really similar and basically every single character just throws shit at the screen and then things die. And it is true that male fighter and female gunner are almost identical to their other gendered counterparts, but they come from a time when they didn't really know what to do with the characters, and they're like, hey, let's release female Gunner. It's like Gunner, but has boobs. Although she is basically a carbon copy, there is some very slight differences. Male fighter is a lot more different than female fighter, so he kind of was the one to break the trend. So far, from all the characters that I played, I don't think that 2 classes feel entirely the same. They'll have their own combo rotations and skills. And I would say that there's a difference between a character that focuses on being up close and dishing out a bunch of combos and a character that just sits back and casts spells over and over. The combat is really fast paced, really fun, crisp. You walk into a room and try to kill everything as fast as possible before they kill you. Messing up can be quite dangerous, with life tokens being cash only or event exclusive, which is, I kind of wish that they replenished. I don't know if they do. I should probably look into that. But I won't, because not a professional, guys. Come on, you know who you're talking to. If you have the money, cosmetics are worth it, and they don't break the game too much, even though they give stats and there's ways to upgrade them. I had a set from events, and they didn't feel too game breaking. They leveled up a couple of my skills, which is not that big of a deal. And I believe that Neopol is doing a pretty good job at keeping the game running, and this is their lifeblood, so if you can't afford it, yes, cosmetics are very nice, looking nice, feels good. The pets are cute, and some of them do have skills that will help you out. The most important thing to know about this game is that other developers need to sort of adapt this skills don't take cash items to reset. Before, we just put up with it, and it was another way to get money from us, which I guess made sense at the time. But with Dungeon Fighter and Mavinogi, which I might get to eventually, you can reset your skills for free, which is so nice. You can try and see what you like, what you don't like, and it's something that a lot of developers really need to do. I really don't think you should be punished for wanting to change your mind. You can even change your subclass for a fee. In gold, of course, it's nothing too crazy. Alright, with all of that being said, I do have lots of complaints about the game. I will try to be as fair as possible, but the real game starts when you hit that level 90 cap. That's when you can start farming for gear, and you can look up a DFO level 90 guide, and you will get this little flowchart here, which took me like a month to actually understand what all of these words on the screen mean, and that's going back and forth and kind of getting first-hand experience and actually running these dungeons and seeing what works, what doesn't work, what's worth it, what's not. I did some research, and the in-game guide that tells you all you need to know it's not very accurate. I don't think that the developers know English that well, or whoever's doing all the translation is really that fluent. Some of these things are very confusing, and the guide does need some work. Overall, though, I'm glad that it's even there. I wouldn't even know that half of the stuff existed or what any of these things did. At least getting gear has a bit of a point, whereas in a game like Warframe, I kind of stopped playing, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna go back, because I've reached this point where I'm so strong and I could get stronger, but there's no reason to. In Dungeon Fighter, we have raids. There's some really hard dungeons that I certainly cannot do by myself. Again, numbers. I don't know if I said this, but I always complain about this. It's always gotta be about the damn numbers. There's not so much skill involved as there is numbers. It's such a big issue with today's modern society. And yeah, I said society, it's not just gaming. The numbers are too important. There needs to be more skill involved. I don't care if you got a piece of paper. Show me portfolio. Now, I don't want to be the guy that says things were better back in the day, but I do feel like some things were better back in the day. I never reached the cap until recently, which I was really excited for, and then I figured out that endless grind. But yeah, the game did shut down, and maybe this is what people want. People just want to have their hands held until they reach the cap. That's exactly what they turned the quest into. They grand chased up the place for like the fourth time now, changing basically the entire beginning area again, removing King's mode from most dungeons until I want to say until level 50. I could be wrong, but all I know is that you're not going to be running normal dungeons ever. You're just going to do the storyline because you can't skip ahead. If you do get levels from the Explorer Club, which I forgot to mention, the Explorer Club! I knew I was forgetting something. The Explorer Club puts all of your characters into one big little screen here, and the more you level up your characters, the easier it is to level up other characters. And you get a lot of nice little buffs and benefits, and you can get more daily runs. I wish that other games that had a big roster of characters, like El Sword and so on, would actually do something like the Explorer Club, where having a lot of different characters is actually a way to progress through the game. But alright, back to bad things, back to ranting. Alright, where was I? Oh yeah, back in the day. Leveling isn't fun anymore. The quest line, like I said, it's a complete cakewalk. I think it only starts getting somewhat difficult depending on which character you're using. When you start getting to maybe level 80, maybe a little bit before that if you don't have any gear or anything, but I really doubt it. I only started maybe fearing for my life once I hit 85. And after that, I couldn't get any more. I can't get any new gear until level 90, and the dungeons are level 90, which really puts a damper on your DPS. But I guess it's still doable. The problem is getting here takes quite a while, and the game does run on a fatigue system, stamina for the layman. And I know that getting all of the materials for the titles was a pain in the ass, and I know that the title book was something that you had to do because stats, but I really miss the title book. You can't get those old titles anymore. My Soulbender here has most of the titles until the last ones, which I couldn't get, which I was in the process of getting until I stopped playing, which comes back to the whole point of I stopped playing for a reason, and they're changing things, and now I'm playing more. So maybe this is better, maybe I don't know what I want, but I do know that I loved getting the unique items from the dungeons that used to drop, and there were area, not legendaries, but there were like area rare items that you could acquire and sometimes drop from dungeons, which you outgrew really fast. I still have some of them on some of my characters. See, this level 75 Demon's Fist, I believe it was called. Don't have it in front of me right now. I want those items back, but they're probably already there in the form of the epic items that you have to endlessly farm for. And yeah, again, big waste of space credits to get all of those mission requirements and all those materials and chaos stones, which are still in the game, but they don't really do anything. Like last time I checked, I was like, oh hey, it takes 100 nihilistic demon stones to make one nihilistic demon stone, right? Well, fragments. You know what? That doesn't matter. All that matters is that it ain't worth it, man. It ain't worth it anymore. Last thing I want to mention is all the dead content that we have currently. I understand why they removed the unique items. Again, you outgrew them. You were blazing through the levels until you hit maybe 70 or 80. But we still have a lot of this dead content. Mainly the chronicle items they're all level 70. And they're supposed to make your skills badass when you get a full set, but they're just not worth your time. You have to grind a lot for these things. You only get 5 entries into the dungeon, and with all that, they're still very underwhelming in the terms of stats. So even though I still have the set that I got from an event ago, these items are not worth using, and I think I can improve them by doing the raid, which probably isn't really worth it because people actually sell you raids, as in you pay people money to run you through these things. That's not my style, man. I'm sorry, but I'm not paying to have content cleared for me, alright? And I'm never gonna sell content clears, even though this is probably the main way that the economy moves around. I do not agree with this kind of behavior. And Neopol is apparently sponsoring this with the new taxi driver thing, where you can clear dungeons for people. Apparently you need to be able to do things on your own and clear dungeons really fast or whatever to be a taxi driver, and then people can come along with you and you get like rewarded. This is a good thing. This is what you people want. This is what the community demands. Man, it's like Warframe all over again, where we just want to kill everything on the screen in less than 3 minutes and then run it all over again. It takes the fun out of it. I'm a solo player. I know that that's impossible in an MMO environment, but I don't have people to play with. I don't want to find people to play with. I don't want to... If I mess up, I want it to be my fault. And when people do things, I don't want to be the one that gets carried. Basically, I want to pull my own weight. And that reminds me of the Tower of the Dead. They removed that thing. It used to be 50 floors. You went in. It was a rite of passage. That's where you got your first awakening from. Man, that was such a big deal. You hit that level 50. They told you, hey man, awakening. Here, give us like 500 cubes or something. And then go into the Tower of the Dead. Clear these 50 floors. Man, that was a rush. That actually took like it was whoo. Now the tower is gone, replaced with the Tower of Despair and the Tower of Anguish, which is 100 floors of fighting. What does APC stand for? AI controlled player character, whatever. These goons are difficult, and you gotta clear 100 floors. And opening the pots is like 2 million gold, something that, why? And it wouldn't be so bad, honestly, if you could clear more than 1 to 3 floors a day, depending on your Explorer Club and whether or not you have the gold to pay for other entries. After a while, man, I just get burned out. It doesn't feel like I'm doing anything. It doesn't feel like I'm progressing at all, and if I die in the damn tower, I gotta wait another day, can't resurrect. There's also a lot of other deck content that you can probably find if you look around long enough. The Forgotten Land is dead. It's only used to level up your side characters if you even bother to clear the damn thing. And it's sad because I really like the idea of the Forgotten Land. It was such an interesting concept. You run around, get materials, do certain dungeon specific things. It's a fun place. It's very divided by levels, and it's just not worth it to do it at all anymore. And that's so sad. So very sad. I really enjoy that dungeon. Then there's the other waste of space, which I already mentioned, the Chronicle items, level 70, full set. Not worth doing. Just not worth doing, but you still gotta run the dungeon because there are boxes and things you can get. Well, I think that's about it. I think that's all I gotta say. So let's move on to the closing statements. I am very critical of the games that I like. Perfection is impossible. Anything that's online will always take a 40-hour job level of dedication to play. And I just want to have fun, improve my gaming skills, and have a fair challenge. I'm not asking for dank souls, alright? I don't need to be shot at by cheap deaths everywhere. It's not... Why is it gonna be about the numbers? The only thing that matters is the numbers. You gotta make the numbers bigger. That's how you make the game harder. You don't make the people dodge the things. You just give them bigger numbers. Oh look, I'm Diablo 3. Run rifts until the end of time. Infinity's a number, and of it.